Now, your athlete have been entering data, you have been planning session, you want to know what's going on. So the only thing you have to do is to click on the team name, and then you have the team dashboard.
The team dashboard is a very important tool. It helps to identify issues in real time and find solutions to fix them. The way it works is very simple. It aggregates workload management metrics such as acute chronic workload ratio, week-to-week load increase, monotony, then wellness scores, rest measurements, health status, and then subjective metrics collected post-training. Based on the number of issues detected by the system, you see red, yellow alerts, the athlete will be rated as at risk, undertrained, or low risk. Because the dashboard is entirely customizable, you can basically put any metrics you want. You can do that right from your team settings. You scroll down to the readiness dashboard, and here you can turn the different metrics on and off. So if you don't want to see monotony or use it in the calculation of readiness, you can, or risk, you can also remove it from the dashboard. And let's say CMJ, you want to remove it, you just hide it and save the dashboard. Now, when you come back on your dashboard, you'll see it's totally different. And then the analysis will be slightly different because you have been using different metrics. So we provide you with a basic template, but if you want to modify it to fit your needs, well, you can do that. Athlete monitoring calculates alerts for this week and next week as well. So even if you have planned sessions for next week, the system will analyze them and then alert you when your periodization or your planification is placing the athlete at risk. So you can immediately correct the situation. So when you see alert like this, you can just click on them. The system will suggest some changes. Those are, of course, athlete specific. And then from there, you can either click on this little running icon to see the training data for this particular athlete, or also you can just click on the calendar and then you'll see all the session plan in the future. So from there, what you can do, if you need to reduce the load, then you can just identify which session needs to be reduced. You edit it, you click on it, and then you make the changes. You see the load is automatically updated here. When you save changes, the athlete automatically receives a notification. So that's a very quick and easy way to optimizing training based on evidence-based metrics that are dynamically changing all the time.
Alerts like this, enjoyment 1 5.2, you can click on the alerts and then you get the individual data. So this is the individual dashboard with today's score, yesterday's scores, 8 days ago, and the average for the last 28 days. And then you have the graph of the information. You can also add additional variable if you want on the graph. And also, if you want to see longer trends, you can select weekly, select the line graph, and then you see if enjoyment is going up, which is the case, which is good. It's not perfect, but it's still good. You can have different views. You can see the log here. That's the journal, the log. You can see plan reported. You can export all the data to Excel as well. From this individual dashboard here, you can access the alerts. So those are all the alerts that are matching the athletes, but that are not necessarily displayed on the team dashboard. You can also access those alerts right there. Tips to solve the problem. So from there, what you can do, you can either modify the program like I just showed you, or you can contact the athlete and engage the conversation. If you want to access wellness data, training calendar, injury data, contact the athlete, record notes, or open the profile. You can do it right there from this screen. If you want to see the wellness data, that's very simple. You click on the wellness icon, and then you have the wellness score for today, for yesterday. You didn't complete the form yesterday, the questionnaire, 7 days ago, and the average for the last month. And here for today, you have fatigue, soreness, so each bar represents a category. The higher the bar, the worse the result. That's why you see green, yellow, red zone. If you want to see data over time, you can. It's very simple. And then you can mix objective and subjective metrics for the overall wellness score or for each different element. You can also get the log with all the answers. You can also get access to the wellness data by just clicking on the wellness score. Now we see is in the yellow score. That's a direct link to the individual dashboard. If you have custom field, then custom field will be showing up like this. If you have added custom field, and if you are tracking injuries, then you can also see injuries over there. You can click on the issue. Then you have the injury dashboard for the athlete. You click on the issue, and then you'll be able to see a body map trading where the problem is. If you are a therapist, then they can also report your notes, different tasks, different pencil session, and then use the SOAP note format to record their medical notes. If you want to have all your athletes on the same graph, you click on the team graphs here, and on this one you can get for the entire team that the athlete you've been selecting here, and the dates, you can have planned versus reported. So at the bottom you have your athletes, the left those are the units, and here you have, for example, this is training load, planned in light green and reported by the athlete in dark green. So you can compare RPE, for example, planned by you in light purple and reported by the athlete in darker, enjoyment rate, and so on and so on. If you want to see fluctuation of data over time, you click the line graph and then you select the information you want. The team is the dot line, team average. If you want to see all the wellness scores on the same graph, you click wellness, and then you'll be able to do so. Select different date, refresh the screen, and then automatically the graph shows up. So each bar represents a color, and the higher the bar, the worse the result. Of course, the higher the total bar. If you want to isolate some scores, then you can also remove them. If you just want to see a graph with fatigue, well, that's the way to do it. And then if you want to see everything on the same graph, you click combine. And this is a very important graph in terms of workload management, because you can see the daily score, the daily workload, the 680 here, 400 here, but for each bar can be divided in subcategories. So each color here represents a different session. So in this 702, that's the daily load, but we did 360 load of conditioning and 342 of football, soccer. So for each day, you can see different loads for each activity. You can also see injuries on this graph. You can also see all the planned data. That's the planned load for the next days or the next weeks. The blue zone here is the chronic load. The chronic load is the rolling average of the last 4 weeks. Typically, the higher the chronic load, the fitter the athlete. The acute load, the pink zone, this is the load for each week. So it's the cumulative load for every week. So typically when you have athletes with a very high acute load compared to the chronic load, athletes are not ready to take this kind of very heavy load within the week. So it's a big load increase, so compared to what the athlete is used to do. So you can expect high level of fatigue and in some cases a high risk. The freshness index, that's the yellow zone at the bottom. This is the differential between acute and chronic. So it's very simple, it's just a subscription, but it's providing a visual element to identify when athletes will be tired, like here, when they will be bouncing back. Here we have a higher chronic load, but acute load is going down, so athletes will likely to recover, pretty rested and ready for competing around here. And then you have the risk factors. The acute chronic workload ratio, typically when it goes about 1.3, it's the risk increase a lot, and 1.5 it's kind of the red zone. The monotony, that's the fluctuation of training load within the week. So when monotony is too high, typically around 2 or more, the risk of overtraining increase. So in this case, we see a big peak of monotony here. So and as well, we do have a very high acute chronic load. So here we have a high chronic load, acute chronic load ratio, and then we have a very high monotony score. So typically injuries are not, or overtraining incidents are not arriving immediately. There is always a latency of 7 to 10 days. So in this whole area here, you'll need to be very careful with your athletes because of those two peaks of acute chronic workload ratio and monotony.
Beside your dashboard, you can also track comments and feedback left by athletes. To do it, it's very simple. You click comments, and then all the comments left by your athlete through the questionnaire or the post-training form will be listed here. So when you see that, you can just click on the little bubble, and then you will be able to send an SMS or an email to the athlete. The third tab here is the list of injuries. This is a list where all athletes with injuries or health issues will be listed. So from there, what you can do is you click on the issue, and then this will brings you back to the athlete dashboard. The fourth tab is the compliance tab. This one is very important because it helps you to identify who forgot to enter the data. In this example here, we see several athletes who forgot to enter their wellness questionnaire. When they do so, automatically the system will remind them through SMS or email. But if you want, you can also open this screen on a tablet, on the dressing room or the training facility. And when the athletes are arriving, then you can ask them to click on the Record Now button and then complete their wellness questionnaire on the spot. So this way it's very, very simple, and then you are sure that athletes are not forgetting to enter the data.